Good evening. It's Friday at 7:30. Well, it's just gone 7:30. My name is Richard, and this is Over and Over and Over Again. Happy New Year. This is our first show of 2024, and it is a big one as well. We are going to be looking ahead, of course, to the women are back in action this weekend, the FA Cup against Watford. So we're going to look at that game. The transfer window is open. There's been some business already done for Arsenal, both in and out. So we're going to have a look at that as well. We're also going to have an assessment of the first half of the season, look ahead to what's to come in 2024. It's all coming up the other side of this. And of course, we can't have a show without the regular panel here. Of course, we have got Andreas and we've got Amma. And also, we have got a very, very special guest coming back for the second time. It is Adriana as well. How are you all? Andreas, how are you doing this week?
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Hello. Thanks for having me again.
Absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure to see you all again, actually. It's been good. Been a while. Obviously, we had Christmas break and we haven't had a show for a few weeks due to all that kind of stuff. So it's good to be back. And of course, it's a lot happened in the last few weeks, hasn't there? You know, with the transfer window and whatever and stuff like that. So we're going to have a look at all of that. I suppose the only place we can really start is some rather exciting news that. Hang on a minute. What's happened here? Some rather exciting news that's happened over the last. Couple of days or so in the transfer window. So we're going to have a look at our new signing. So we've mentioned on the show, haven't we, about the need for a right back. We were looking at maybe some cover for right back, obviously with Laura Wainwright injured. And we've got our right back that we may be expected to get. There was a lot of sort of news about it. The fact that she's played before with Alessia Russo is a bonus, of course, for us as well. And for her, make her settle a bit easier. Also, I think Lotta Ruben White played for the same college team. I'm not sure if they were all there together, but certainly she did play with Alessia. So, I mean, Andres, you know too much about Emily Fox, this new signing of ours. Is she going to be a good fit for the team at the moment, which is what the most important thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I think she's a good signing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her play for us. I think the development, was a bit strange. That first we accepted Noelle's wish to leave and sign for Villa, but it would have been stupid to let Noelle go and not sign a new right back. So it was quite clear that things are papers are in work and in progress. So I'm happy that we have signed Emily Fox. Her reputation is very, very good. I read a lot about her, that she's one of the best fullbacks in the world. Let's see. She has to prove it. I think the problem is she made her last match in October in the US League. Since then, she's only been in training. So we can't expect her to make a quick impact, and then in February she will be out with the US team for the Gold Cup. We'll miss 3 matches probably. So I think it's a long-term signing. We have Katie McCabe, who played at right back nearly most matches in the first half of the season. I'm really looking forward to seeing Emily play, and I think she will have a good impact on us.
I mean, so far the signings that Jonas has made since he's been manager have generally been really good, haven't they? Most of them have made a real good impact in the team, and it's like he's got certain types of players that he wants to bring in, and most of them seem to work, which is great. And I'm really confident that Emily's going to be another one that will fit exactly what we need. It is a position that probably one of the only positions that you could say we were really weak in, you know, with Laura's injury. we only really had Noelle Maritz as our only real natural right back. And yes, Kate McKay's been playing and she'll be doing well, but I think we all know that her best position is on the other side of the pitch rather than on the right-hand side. So if it's going to free her up over there, it's going to keep that position right, then I think it's a good signing. And yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to seeing her play and settle in. And it might take her a while, like you said, because she's going to be away soon anyway. But as you said, it's a long-term signing, and I'm sure it's going to be a real positive for us in a position that we did need to strengthen. So it's great news all round. I mean, Emma, do you know too much about Emily Fox then? I know obviously we know bits about her, obviously, but you know too much about her. You think she's going to be a good signing for us?
Yeah, I reckon she'll be a good signing for us. It comes with a big reputation. I can't say I know too much of her. I don't really follow the NWSL that much, but well, having played college football with Leslie and Lotta, maybe they can shed some light. I don't know whether they were involved in the signing or not, but maybe they were secretly. Who knows? But yeah, no, maybe they can shed some light on what she can bring to the squad. But I think it was imperative that we added, but we strengthened in that defensive position because we still, as the stats tell you, only 2 clean sheets in 10 games isn't good enough. I know we haven't had Leah, and Noelle was a bit unlucky. Laura's been out. We were just getting all our key players back. So it was important we strengthened in that position, and it's good that they found someone who has experience, who has been on, well, I wouldn't say the fringes of the US women's national team, but she did play during the World Cup as well. So now I'm excited to see how she gets on, and I think she will be an asset to our back line. And well, it remains to be seen whether when Laura is fit again, whether she will take the permanent position from her. But maybe it gives Jonas a good headache in that regard. So no, I think it's a good signing. Whether she'll make her debut on Sunday remains to be seen. But I think we've got ourselves a good asset here.
Yeah, I mean, I think she may well be in the squad on Sunday. Whether she'll start the game or maybe come off the bench, we'll have to wait and see. She's only just arrived, and like Andreas said, she's not played competitive football for a while. So she may need a bit more time to be up to speed. But yeah, she may well be on the bench anyway, whether she comes on or not. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I mean, it is because I say it's a position that we desperately needed somebody in, and we've got someone, like you said, a World Cup player who, you know, I know America didn't have a great World Cup, did they, in the end? But
No.
you know, it obviously wasn't down to her particularly. But yeah. I mean, Adriana, obviously you're a women's football expert, so you probably know a little bit more about Emily Fox than maybe we do. I mean, is she more of an attacking sort of defender, or is she just a really solid defensive player?
I think she does bring a little bit of both. I think also Jonas said today in the press conference that she's very good in the explosiveness when she starts sprinting. And also she has a good right and left foot, so she could also play on the other side, so very flexible. And I mean, at the same time, it's a very good sign for, I think, the WSL and Arsenal in general that another player from the NWSL is joining. I mean, Arsenal has a very good history with signings with US players, with Tobin Heath and in the past Heather O'Reilly. So I think she will definitely be a really good asset for Arsenal, especially when we see that Noelle Maritz left the club. I think she didn't have a really good standing now in the end for Arsenal, didn't get a lot of game time. So I think it was a necessary step. And I think it will be really interesting to see her play in the future. But also she could be missing in, I think, February when there's the Gold Cup. So she will probably be in the squad for the US team.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, isn't it, that, you know, you buy a player and now she's going to be off and we're not going to see much of her for a while. But, you know, the main thing is that she comes back fit. Obviously, that's going to be a massive bonus to us. And, you know, as Andreas mentioned before, because she's not played competitive football, maybe going to the Gold Cup might actually be a benefit to us because it's going to get her competitive football. So when she comes back, hopefully she'll be ready to step straight back in and away we go. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting that, you know, she's 2-footed because that's quite an important part of it, isn't it? If she's going to be very versatile, you know, if you can play left on the left side as well, that could also come in handy if we get an injury here and there in the squad. So, yeah, it sounds like it's a very, very good side. And, of course, we do have to say, you know, good luck to Noelle Maritz as well on her move to Aston Villa. They seem to buy all our old players, don't they? It's like they're the retirement home for our players, aren't they, Aston Villa? They leave us, they go to Aston Villa. We've got a team of former Arsenal players. No doubt Emma will do a question on it one day, won't he? How many Arsenal players have played for Aston
Oh
Villa?
no! That's a very good idea. Then let's not be going. Yeah.
There'll be a whole team's worth. But I mean, good luck to her. Of course, obviously, she was a big servant for Arsenal over the years, wasn't she? I thought she was a good player, very solid, steady player, wasn't she, Noelle Maritz? She was never maybe a 10 out of 10, but she was never a 6 out of 10. She was always 7 or 8, wasn't she? Virtually every week, consistent performances. And it's absolutely. I mean, she's not getting the game time, or she hasn't been for the last year or so at Arsenal, really. So it probably is the right time for her. And now we've got a replacement in. It's a good time for us as well. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of Noelle Maritz's kind of time at Arsenal then? Because she did well, didn't she, overall? She had a good Arsenal career, didn't she?
Yeah, the best is to say she was a good servant for Arsenal. She's a player that's not shining in the matches, but she's a very solid defender, but she's more defensively oriented. And I think it does not fit perfectly to Jonas' ideas of playing, or the style he wants to play. He wants more offensively oriented fullbacks, and that's why Laura was the first choice in beginning of last season. Of course, second part of last season, Noelle was back in the team, but the way Laura plays, the dynamic and her speed, the tacklings, that's more the way Jonas wants a fullback to play. And I haven't seen her play, but I read a lot about Emily Fox, and she seems to be similar to this, very offensively oriented and with a good pace, and she likes to tackle. It's different to Noelle, but as I said, Noelle did a really good job at Arsenal. She was important all those years she was here, and she's a very solid defender. You know what you get from her, and when you start with Noelle, you know what you get from her, and I can't remember a really weak performance from her. She's always solid, and therefore, as you said, we have to thank her for being at Arsenal and doing a good job. And now we wish her all the best at Villa, not against us, but in all the other matches, especially against City or Chelsea. All the best for Noelle.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we've obviously with Anna Patton in the Villa team as well. Half of their defence now is former Arsenal players, which may help us, like you said, because they might go out a little bit more to get a result against a team that's going to help Arsenal, because there'll be Arsenal inside them, because once you've played for Arsenal, it's part of you, isn't it? And I don't think it ever leaves. So I'm sure that they'll both be giving it they're all, and of course Jordan as well. If she can get herself back in the team, then I'm sure she'll have a big impact for them as well. But it just seems strange that all our players end up at Aston Villa when we get rid of them, mate. That's where they go. It's just weird, isn't it? That we think we must have some sort of deal going with them, mate. Sure. Anyway, Wayne says there, even everyone, Happy New Year, Gooners. Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. Hope you are well. Greg's in the chat as well. He says, from what I've seen, she usually plays on the left for the USA. Well, yeah, we just say Adriana just said she's 2-footed, so she can play either side. I think we bought her to play at right back, by all accounts. Obviously, getting Noelle Maritz away tends to suggest that she's coming as a replacement directly there, but the versatility is going to be really, really useful. Hada says, hi everyone. Fox is not right back, she's a left back. Well, apparently she's a both back, so she can play either side, so it's fine. So that's what more could you want? A defender who can play left and right is a bonus, really. It's 2 players in one, essentially, in the squad. So, but let's see. I'm sure she's brought in as the right back cover or the right back position, because that's where we're short now. We wouldn't have let Noelle go, would we? If we wasn't bringing a player in to play there, and that seems to be what's happened. But if she can play, if she's left-footed as well, then that's a massive bonus, isn't it? And I'm just excited to see her play, really. But yeah, we have to say thank you to Noelle Maritz, of course. I mean, Emma, you'll have some good memories of Noelle Maritz. She's been at Arsenal a while, played well for us, didn't she? She did well, I think. She's been a good player.
Yeah, I know. When you come from a club like Wolfsburg, it isn't easy, and we've seen now how when players have moved on from big clubs in the past, they come with big reputation. But I think she served her club well, and she was playing alongside her teammates well. It was for a brief time it was Madame Gut, and then of course Leah Walty. who you can't really ask for. Somebody of the Swiss captain and all what she achieved with Switzerland at the time as well. I think she done well for us, and it was sad to see her go. But I think going to Aston Villa, later player, as you say, go from Aston Villa for Patton and Jordan Nobbs. Let's see what happens. But I think that's a pretty solid defender. Never really made any errors there. You could possibly cost us game. So yeah, no, I wish you all the best at Villa, and thank you thank her for what she gave us, and hopefully Foxy can Emily Fox can take that to the next level. So yeah, no, it'll be sad to see her go, but I wish her all the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a shame when a player leaves, but it's sometimes it's the right move, isn't it, for them and for the club? And I think that's definitely the case here. I mean, Adriana, do you think that Maritz can still do a good job in the WSL for a few years left in there yet? Do you think for Aston Villa, or do you think maybe that she's just going to be winding down now, or you think she's still got a good few years left in her?
I definitely think so. I mean, especially Villa, they really need better defending in the next half of the season. They are not standing in the table at the moment where they want to be, so there definitely has to be something to change in the future. And I think also for her, looking in the long term, there will be the Euros next year in Switzerland, so she will definitely want to be playing there and be playing as in the first 11. So I think it's the best decision for her and for Arsenal and for Aston Villa. So it's a win-win-win.
Yeah, it seems to be. I mean, as I say, as long as Emily Fox comes in and does a great job, then it would definitely be a win for us as well, won't it? Because we would have got a really good player to play in that position. But yeah, I say we just wish her all the best, and obviously we'll be looking out for how she gets on, and hope, like Andrea said, hopefully she'll do well in all the other matches, but not when we play. Of course, she can give us a penalty if she wants. She can score an own goal. She can do what she wants when she plays against us. But against everyone else, she's got to be that 7, 8, 9 out of 10 that she always was, and I'm sure she will be. Hannah says I was thinking that we're going to sign Mary Earps this winter. Well, funnily enough, you mentioned that, but obviously there's been talk of another goalkeeper coming in, hasn't there? Who's out of contract, the goalkeeper from former Lyon goalkeeper, isn't it? Sarah, I can't remember her last name now.
Sarah Buadi.
That's it, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. It seemed as though Jonas wants to get a short term, because of this Gold Cup, we're losing Sabrina D'Angelo for the same period of time, and that's going to leave us. Kayla Marquise, of course, is injured anyway, so she wouldn't be available, and that would leave us with one goalkeeper. So I do think we do need another goalkeeper. It's not going to be Mary Earps in January. It may well be at the end of the season. It's not going to be Mary Earps in January, I don't think, but we may well be getting this loan. I mean, Andreas, that would make sense, though, wouldn't it, in the circumstances? It's a free agent. There's no fees to pay or anything like that. We can get her in. If she's going to have to cover for 3 or 4 games, then it's better to have a goalkeeper in, isn't it? Because otherwise, imagine if Zinni was to get injured in one of those games and we don't have another goalkeeper, recognised goalkeeper, we'll have to throw one of the youngsters in or something like that. It's not ideal, is it? I think Naomi Williams is the other goalkeeper, isn't she? The youngster. I mean, you think that'd be a good move to get the goalkeeper in? I do. I think it's a sensible thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a necessary short-term signing, and that's we had to do this. Sabrina will be out with the Gold Cup for Canada, and she could miss 3 matches. And just imagine Hanne Zinsberger gets injured during this time or short before, and then we are left with Naomi Williams. I think she's 18 years young, never played in WSL. She might be talented, but she only played for the academy team, and everybody would say, how could you not react before? You must think about this. So it would be, it's necessary to do something. And it was quite clear in I think, beginning of December that we will not target Mary Earps in the winter transfer window. Maybe in summer, I hope so, but it's still open. So we need a short-term signing. And it's difficult to find a really quality keeper who accepts to sit on the bench or in the stands and be number 3 in a team for 6 months. So Sarah Buadi, she's a lot of experience. She played for Lyon, for Paris Saint-Germain. Yeah, of course she's 37, and when you read about her, she had a few problems with her last teams she was. There was
Yeah,
physical argument with another player. So yeah, it's difficult. But she doesn't come to stay at Arsenal for 2 or 3 years. It's just for this 6 or 5 months, and just for the three matches when we only have Manu Zinsberger. And let's hope Manu will not catch an injury. So Sarah Guardi will never play for Arsenal. It's just for security reason, and it's good to do
yeah,
this security signing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a little bit like the Jodie Taylor signing last January, isn't it? A free agent in a position that at that particular time we needed some cover for the forward positions. She stayed, obviously she's back at the club now in a coaching role, but we brought her in. It's a similar kind of thing. She was unattached at the time. It was a sensible player to bring in at that moment in time. And I think this would be as well, and I know I've seen some negative comments on social media about it already. It's like, well, come on, what would you rather do? Risk a young goalkeeper that's never played at that level at a crucial time in the season when we're already up against it a little bit in terms of the fact we've lost 2 games, we can't afford to lose too many more? Or do we get a goalkeeper with experience who, if needed, we at least know she's going to be able to come straight in and do the job that's necessary? And I think it makes absolute sense to bring her. I don't know too much about her, actually. I did hear about that sort of bust-ups that she's had with teammates and stuff like that, which, I kind of quite like that because it shows that they've got some passion and some fire in them, which isn't a bad thing necessarily. You've got to channel it in the right way. Of course you have, a bit like Katie McCabe, but, it's not I don't think that's a bad thing, actually, overall. But do you know much about her, Emma, other than that, really? That's all that you seem to have heard today, is that, she's got a bit of a temper issue, maybe. But she's a goalkeeper. They're all a bit crazy, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Well, you just never know what to expect. Yeah, well, they can be. I don't know whether you could call it eccentric or whatever, but I don't know. Just apart from watching her play for Lyon and the French women's national team, I can't say I know too much. She has been a regular starter for them, so clearly there's some faith in the coaches that they put in her because they see a lot in her. But yeah, I know it's good to have that experience, I guess, rather than, as you say, relying on the youngsters. When Kaylin's injured, she's got a knee injury, she probably won't play again this season, who knows. Naomi Williams, I don't know too much about her, but rather than put risky someone who's relatively inexperienced at this level, it maybe makes sense just to sign a backup goalkeeper for Manu. So yeah, it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see if they target anybody else. But no, I suppose I don't know whether long term it will be the. It remains to be seen whether long term it will be the right choice to make for Arsenal in that position. But maybe it was only a short term thing, just like maybe as you see with the male players, the teams in the Premier League that have players going to AFCON in a slightly different context. So, yeah, I mean, it will add experience to the back line, but let's see what happens after that. I mean, I would like to see Sabrina come back, but it remains to be seen, really.
Yeah, I mean, it is obviously, you'd imagine would only be a temporary move anyway, because I think there's not much doubt that we're definitely going to be in for Mary Earps in the summer. Whether we can get her or not is another question. But I think, we're going to try to sign her. So it looks as though next season you'd imagine that, I think Dini's going to be on the move, if I'm honest. And I think it will be Mary Earps at number 1 and Sabrina as the backup, which is fine. But for the time being, we need someone for now, and it makes sense. I mean, Adriana, do you know much about Sarah then as a goalkeeper? Obviously, she's experienced, isn't she? Played for Lyon for all those years and won a lot of trophies, so she must be, she must be a very good goalkeeper, even if she's maybe past her best.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely brings lots of experience. I mean, she's won the Champions League multiple times, the French League, the French Cup. So there's definitely something behind her. And even though she hasn't had the best time in recent years, I think she can still bring some qualities to the team. And even if she doesn't get game time for Arsenal, I think she will still maybe be able to bring a little bit of experience and knowledge to the team. So I still think it's not an amazing signing, but it's a necessary one.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point as well about her experience, because maybe in the dressing room, even if, like you said, even if she doesn't actually play on the training pitch, in the dressing room and stuff like that, she'd be a good player to have around. If she's not going to have fights with everybody, she'd be a good player to have around, won't she? bring that experience of what it takes to win big trophies that she's got. Some of our players haven't experienced that before, so that could be really useful on that side of it as well. So yeah, I mean, it makes even more sense when you look at it like that. Even if she's not going to play, we hope she doesn't have to play, because that means that Zinni's fit and she's fine and everything's not a problem. But hopefully we can get that sorted out, because I do think it would be a good move if we can get it done, of course. But yeah, Mary Earps, I think that's a summer signing. Let's hope it's going to be a summer signing anyway. Colonel's River doing good to see you. Terry says, good evening, chat, hit that thumbs up button. Yes, please, good to see you, Terry, as well. Hope you're well, my friend. Greg says, Jonas said in his conference, Coole's going on loan to help her decision making. Perhaps you should send Marnham out to do the same. Well, I don't think we can send out too many players on loan, but obviously we're talking about Katerina Coole.
Don't send Marnham out. Don't send Frida Marnham out. What are you talking about?
No, we need to keep. I agree about her decision making. Sometimes isn't always the best. That's absolutely true. But I'm not sure whether sending out on loan is going to change that. That's what the training ground is for, isn't it? That's what the coach's job is, to work with her, and not just the manager, but the coaches at the club. It's their job to work with the player and improve that aspect of her, because she's a regular first team player, isn't she? She doesn't start. She's on the bench. She comes on. She plays nearly every game. So they're not going to send her out on loan. If they're worried about her decision making, which I think we all are at times, that's a job for the manager and the coaches to work on and improve, and hopefully they will, because she's improved a lot in the last year or so, in 2 years, hasn't she, Frida Marnham, since she joined. So there's no reason to suggest she won't continue to develop. But yeah, I agree with you with the decision making. Sometimes it isn't always the best. Terry says, do we really want Earps? Hasn't impressed me lately. Yeah, but I think what you got to remember is I think Mary Earps is a little bit unsettled. I think she wants to get away from Manchester United. She knows there's been interest from Arsenal. The club kind of blocked it. And I do think that when that happens, it can unsettle a player and lead to some maybe not so good performances. So I certainly wouldn't have a problem with us signing her. I think she'd be a great signing. She's a much better goalkeeper than what we've got. But, let's wait and see what happens. We can't expect we're going to sign her, but it's a possibility in the summer. Let's hope so. Wayne says, I think it's a brilliant idea. Experienced goalkeeper, and also that winning mentality in the dressing room. Yeah, we just mentioned that. Yeah, all them Leon League titles and Champions League. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly the point. And I think that more so than even if she never played, that is a reason to sign her just on that basis alone. Hada says there, Leah Walty to Real Madrid. Really, she's a good player. No, she's a good player. I don't think she's going to go to Real Madrid. I don't think she will. We'll see. I mean, who knows? I mean, Andreas, do you think she's going to leave Leah Walty? I can't see it. Can you?
No, she has resigned in summer, so I don't think she wants to leave. And in November, December, she gave a long interview where she said Arsenal is her home now, and there is no other place she wants to be at the moment, with all the development, with the attendances in league matches. She was dreaming of her younger years, and now she's so happy to be a part of this development. I don't see her going to Real Madrid, and there are a lot of rumors. Real Madrid was getting to Mary Earps too, and they wanted to get Natalie Björn from Everton, but she signed for Chelsea. So I don't think that Real Madrid is a serious contender at the moment in women's football, and it would be a step backwards for Wally, and I don't think she'll go there. If Arsenal doesn't force her out, then she will stay, and I hope she will, because I'm convinced that she has at least two or three good years in her.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can't see her leaving. Certainly not now. Hopefully she won't leave at all, because she is a fantastic player, and I do think she's really important to the team as well, isn't she? I know now we've got more competition in midfield with obviously Kyra Cooney-Cross coming in. Vicky Palova's got that position nailed down in midfield now as well. So there is more competition now, but with Kim Little's injury record recently, I do think it's important that Leah's there, because I think she's a great player. She's got that experience, and yeah, I'd be really, really disappointed if she was to leave, because she's so important to us. We've seen when she's missed games how much of a difference it makes. So when she's not playing. So yeah, we don't want her to go. She's not going to Real Madrid. So don't worry about that. Don't panic. She's not going. Not now anyway. Hopefully not for a while. I mean, Emma, you don't want her to go, dear Leah Walty? No, we've got to keep her, haven't we? Surely.
No. No, of course, yeah. She's been such an integral player to us for so long now. The way she sits in front of that role, like what Granit Xhaka was doing for so many years, and yeah, she's like what Xhaka was to us. Xhaka was to the men's team too. She is like to the women's team what Xhaka was to the men's team, even. And yeah, it's integral, she says, and she's learned so much from that formidable partnership, whether it was with Jordan in the past or with Kim now, and then allowing Frida and other players around her to learn. I think she's just that calming influence. She's just such class. She just has that presence all the way through, all that experience she brings, and to see her go would be a travesty. And I mean, it wouldn't be easy though. There are probably other good, as you say, Kyra is probably. She can even learn. Kyra can even develop her game and become. He's even talked about an interview after the Brighton game early in the season. She can develop her game and become more of the midfielder she wants to be by learning from one of the world's very best. So yeah, for her to go would be a travesty, and well, let's hope it doesn't happen. Obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure it won't. I'll be absolutely astonished if she was to leave in January to go anywhere. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen now. I mean, Joanna, what do you think of Leah Walty as a player? Then she's fantastic, isn't she?
She is. I think she's now she's an established player at Arsenal, and as you said, when she's not playing, you can really tell that something's missing in Arsenal's game. And yes. I think also from you can tell that she's feeling really good when she's playing, and that she's feeling safe at Arsenal. And I definitely don't see her leaving during this winter period. I also heard that Real Madrid doesn't want to spend any money in this transfer window. So if she's leaving, earliest will be in the summer. But I also think that Katerina Coole, she's still developing. She's still very young. So at least until she's really arrived at the club, I don't think there will be that much competition also on that position.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, I think that she's going to learn a lot from Leah Walty anyway, isn't she, Katerina Coole, and I think that's going to help her development as well. And yes, maybe in a year or two, a move away for Leah Walty to finish her career may well be the best thing for her. But at this moment in time, I think she's so important, and she's going to be so helpful to the other players around her, because we've got some young players now breaking through, and they need guidance, don't they, in the team as well? And that's what Leah brings, that calmness and that leadership on the pitch. And I think that we'd be silly to let that go now. But yeah, it's not going to happen now. Greg says there we should go for Frome, obviously the goalkeeping position. She's a better all-round keeper and younger. Yeah, I mean, that would be a signing for the summer, wouldn't it? That would be a signing for the summer, not a January kind of stopgap thing, wouldn't it? And I don't know. I personally would rather Mary Earps, if I'm honest. But let's see what happens. Terry's gone for my favourite. He said, Van Domselaar, come on, Villa, do us a favour. I mean, we should have got Van Domselaar last summer when we had the I said in the Euros, when I saw her play for Holland in the Euros, when she started off as their backup goalkeeper. Of course, there was the injury, wasn't there, in the first game? We was at that game actually. She got injured. Of course, Daphne came on and was brilliant for the rest of the tournament. And we saw a couple of the Holland games. And I said then I wanted Arsenal to sign her there and then, because I thought she's a young goalkeeper. Yeah. She had everything that you wanted in a goalkeeper. And the fact that she came to England and she's playing for Aston Villa was slightly annoying, because we should have tried to get her, especially as we've been looking for a goalkeeper, haven't we? We're looking for one now. It looks like we're looking for one in the summer. We could have got Daphne Van Domselaar, and I think she would have been brilliant, because I think she is a great goalkeeper. But that ship sailed now, I think. She's only just gone to Villa. She's doing well. She's not going to leave Villa and come to us now, is she? And certainly not in January or even the summer, I don't think so. Yeah, I agree, Terry. I would have loved us to have got Van Domselaar, but it isn't going to happen, and we'll have to look elsewhere. And if we get Mary Earps instead, I'm sure that will lessen the blow of missing out. But I think she is a fantastic goalkeeper. I really, really would like us to have signed her. But anyway, Terry says, if Leah Walty leaves, it will break Matt's heart. It will, yeah, because Matt loves her. Yeah, he really does love Leah. We all love Leah Walty, but Matt loves her more than anybody else. So yeah, it would break his heart. But I'm sure it's not going to happen. So we don't need to worry about that, because it's not happening. So don't worry, don't panic. She's staying with us, certainly for the rest of this season and hopefully beyond as well. Now, so we did briefly mention it there. There has been a player that has been sent out on loan as well, which we're going to talk about now. So Katerina Coole been sent on loan to Everton, not Aston Villa, actually, for a change. It's not Aston Villa she's going to. She's actually going to Everton. Now, she needs more minutes on the pitch. There's no doubt about that. You know, we can see she's got talent. There's no doubt about that either. But she's not been able to hold down a regular enough place in the team. You can see why, because there's maybe players ahead of her in the squad, and you can see that when she comes on, she's got good. She has good moments. She maybe has bad moments. The decision making we mentioned before already is an issue, and I feel that this loan could actually be a really, really good move for her. She's staying in the WSL. You can get used to playing games against these opposition, and hopefully she can grow and develop by playing more games. Obviously, she needs to be playing at Everton. It's no good her going there and being on the bench. She's got to be playing. But I think if she plays enough games for Everton, I think we will see a massive difference in her when she comes back, hopefully for next season, ready to go with us and able to make much more of an impact. Because I like Katerina Coole. I think she's a very talented player, but you can see the rawness in her and the mistakes that she makes that needs to be worked on. And she's only going to work on that by playing. And she's not going to be able to play much at Arsenal because of the competition. So, I mean, Andreas, do you think that's a good move for her to go to Everton at this time in her career?
First of all, it's sad to see her leave, but it's the right decision at the right time. I think if we kept her or said to her, no, we don't send you on loan, there would have been the danger that in summer she would come and say, could you let me go on a permanent leave? And no, we should keep her. She's one of the most talented midfielders in Europe, and I always remember that when she first signed for us, I read that she's the most talented Danish player since Pernille Harder, and that says something. And she's a regular starter for Denmark, although she's only 21. She was regular starter at the Euros and in the Nations League. So we know how good she is, and I think it was good for her to stay at Arsenal so far, because in training she was learning from better players, from more experienced midfielders. But now is the time when she needs minutes. She needs to play. We saw this in Conti Cup matches. She had good matches, but also in other matches you saw that she's lacking minutes. The decision making, okay, but also a bit rusty, and only training is not enough for such a young talent. And now she's going to Everton, probably. I don't know whether it's already fixed, this deal, but probably.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's confirmed there.
The manager there, Sorensen, he worked with her before in Denmark.
Sorensen, right.
Yeah. So, and Jonas said it's the right club and the right manager for her. She will get a lot of minutes at Everton. We all hope she will, and I'm sure she will develop. And if she returns in summer for the next season, there's competition in our midfield, but the talent is there, and I'm glad that she stays at Arsenal and only goes on loan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we only signed her last January, didn't we? So she's not been at the club very long, and she's not quite. She hasn't quite kicked on in the way that obviously she came with Vicky Palova last January. She hasn't quite kicked on in the same way that Vicky has. Now Kyra's come in and maybe overtaken her as well. And it does make. Of course, I forgot about Sorensen, of course, being having worked with her previously. So that is another good reason for her to go to Everton, actually. And I think that will work better now. I hadn't thought of that. Now you brought that up. That's a really good point. So I think it will be a really good move for her. And hopefully it will benefit in the long run, because it means we'll get a better player back, which is what we want. You know, it'll benefit Everton now, because I'm sure she's better than a lot of the players playing in their team, because they're struggling quite a lot in the league. So it's going to improve them. It'll improve her. So we get the benefit of that, obviously, next season, hopefully. So it's good all round, isn't it? I mean, Emma, are you happy with that loan? Obviously, she's not leaving. She'll be back. But it seems to be, again, a sensible move, a bit like the goalkeeper situation. It seems a sensible thing to be sending her on loan to a club like Everton, doesn't it?
Yeah, again, it's just like it'll be good for her development, and she'll be able to play alongside. She'll get more regular starting time against Everton's a good side. Ryan Torreson's done a good job there. It'll only be good for development and her future. And once they decide to recall her back, I think she'll have all those minutes under her belt. And she were somebody to get injured maybe, or maybe not. If they don't, or something would happen, if you could nail down regular minutes in future for Arsenal, but it's good for her development, and it'll be good to see if she gets playing time with Denmark. But no, there's no doubt she's a talent. I mean, it's always tough to follow in the footsteps of somebody as great as harder, but yeah, no, it will only do her good to nail down more playing time at Everton, as I was saying, and let's see how she does there. Of course, I'll be interested to know. I think, of course, she can't play against us, but I'll be interested to follow how she gets on against the other teams. So yeah, so it's good for both parties, definitely.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, I say we just want to see her develop and progress and become a better player, because it's going to benefit us, isn't it? I mean, Adriana, what do you think of Katerina Coole? Do you think that it's going to be a good move for her to play more regularly? But what do you think of her as a player then overall? Because she hasn't quite managed to nail down a place at Arsenal, but she is very talented, isn't she? There's no question about that.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell that the talent is there. You can see it sometimes on the pitch, but then at the same time, you can already tell that she's still very young and needs experience, needs consistency most of all, and she can't get that at Arsenal at the moment. So it's the right thing to do, to go to another club, and where she also knows the coach. So that's perfect for her. And it's also a team that really wants to keep the ball, which is good for her. And at the same time, I think she also lacked a little bit in the quick decision making, which she will definitely learn with more also consistency, more game time. And yeah, so I think it's perfect for her.
Yeah, let's hope so. And I say hopefully it goes well, and she's played a lot of games, and we'll see the benefit obviously when she comes back. Terry says, I thought Coole had a good game against Spurs when Super Jen scored the winner in the cup. She just needs to eat a few more pies and get a bit stronger. I don't think eating pies is what they recommend actually now as a modern professional footballer. Maybe pies are.
Did give the ball away a lot in that game as well.
Maybe does need to. Yeah, I think she needs to maybe strengthen up a bit. Yeah, of course she does. But, that will probably come from playing more games anyway. You kind of develop that, don't you? Terry says, I feel sorry for Coole. Vicky Palova has been exceptional, different class. Yeah, she has. And, they arrived at the same time. You kind of felt they were on a similar... I felt they were on a similar level last year when we bought them both. And obviously Vicky has completely pushed on and been amazing. And Katerina's got left behind a little bit, which, hopefully she can catch up now going away, and she'll play some games and we'll see. But yeah, it's a shame it's not working out for her yet. But if it means that long term she's going to be a much better player for us, then it's a good thing, isn't it? So, it's not a good buy as such, is it? It's just, it's a temporary situation, and she'll be back, I'm sure, and looking to get in the team for next season and help us even more. So we'll see. But yeah, good luck to her, Ever. And we will be watching how she gets on, seeing how she's doing in the team for them and all that kind of stuff as well. Just before we move on, I just wanted to obviously there has been, and I know we don't particularly like Sam Kerr here because of the number of goals she scored against us and stuff like that. Some certain things that she said as well. But she's the latest big name player to get an ACL injury, and we don't wish that on anybody. It's horrible, and you can only feel sorry for her. It's a long time out of the game, as we've seen with our own players that suffered in the last year or so. It's obviously a big miss for Chelsea, which I'm not so worried about Chelsea, obviously, but certainly from a personal perspective, it's a horrible injury to have at a time, where, she's got so many good things in her career going at the minute, hasn't she? She's scoring goals, she's winning trophies, things are going well for Australia as well, and it really is a terrible injury to have, but it's another example, isn't it, of, and this was just in training as well. It wasn't even a game. It just goes to show, doesn't it, how easy these things can happen, and how much more work needs to be done to try to prevent these injuries. I know you can't stop them from happening forever. Of course you can't. It's impossible. But a lot more work needs to be done, doesn't it, to try to make this less, because there's been far too many the top players as well. It's not just players that no one's heard of, it's actually the top players it's happening to on a regular basis, and it's just they've got to do. I mean, I mean, I just know we've obviously spoke about this a lot over the last year with the problems that we've had at our club, obviously at our match we've suffered. But it's really it's horrible, isn't it, when you see it happening to other top players, especially someone of such high profile. I mean, Sam Kerr is probably even higher profile in women's football in the world than the players that we've lost potentially because of what she's achieved. I mean, they're doing as much as they can, I'm sure, but nothing seems to be changing, does it? They're still getting these injuries. It's I don't know what's going on with it. Really, it's terrible, isn't it?
It's terrible. Another big name, and I think in such moments when you hear such news, I can only say for me, I was shocked when I read it, and in this moment you have to put all rivalry aside and think about the player. Sam Kerr is a fantastic player. She has achieved so much in her career, and we know she's a player that makes the difference for Chelsea, for Australia, and it's terrible news for her. And when you think she already made her last match for this season now, and her last match under Emma Hayes.
Yeah.
When will she be back at the end of the year? It's just terrible. She had her surgery, and she will miss the Olympics. She had bad luck at the World with the calf injury, and now this terrible injury. But there is need for more research, and these big names that are injured. It started last year with Alexia Putellas, then our players, Beth and Biff, and now Sam Kerr. Nobody is safe from this injury. Chelsea has now Annick Nouwen, the Dutch defender with the ACL, and Sam Kerr. They have Millie Bright again, knee injury. They had Frank Kirby out, who also missed the World Cup. It's terrible, this knee injuries, and but we discussed it so many times, and we don't have a solution. And I think the experts are working on this. There are expert groups, etc., as we saw in the documentary from Viv and Beth, that they are trying to analyze what can be done, what's the reason. But short term, it's just terrible, and I feel so sad for Sam Kerr. And as I said, doesn't matter which kit she wears, which color she has. It's a big loss for the WSL, for women's football, and all the best for Sam Kerr, and hopefully she will come back to her former level.
Yeah, I mean that's always the worry, isn't it, when the top players get an injury like this, because it can affect their long term when they get back playing again. Some of them don't ever get back to that same level that they were before. It can happen, and we're still waiting to see how Viv actually comes back, because she's not really. I know she had a good game in the friendly recently, behind closed doors friendly. She scored her first goal and stuff like that, but we don't really know whether she's going to get back to the level she was before, because we haven't seen yet. Let's hope she can. But yeah, that's always a worry, isn't it, with an injury like this? Can that player return back to the top level? Looks like Beth managed to do that. She's been in great form, so she's been okay. But yeah, all we can do is wish her all the best. And yes, it's we know it's Chelsea. We know that when we look at it practically from an Arsenal perspective, not having Sam Kerr in the Chelsea team is probably a benefit to us in terms of winning the league or not, because of how important she is. But that's irrelevant really when it comes down to an injury like this. We just want her to hopefully get fit as quickly as she can and back playing again. Yeah, I hadn't thought about the Emma Hayes thing. Of course, she won't play for Emma Hayes again, will she? Because Emma's leaving, of course. So she's already played her last game under Emma Hayes, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it? I mean, Emma, we do wish her all the best, don't we? Even though, we give her some banter on this channel, don't we, with Sam Kerr? Of course we do. But it's only, obviously we'd never want anybody to get this sort of injury, would we?
No, setting rivalries aside, it's terrible for women's football and terrible in general, not just for Australia as well. It's bad. I never wish anything like that to happen upon a player like that. You can forget last month after the 4-1 defeat, the banter she was sharing with the Arsenal fans. I think they love her too secretly. And even though she's a place for rival club, how can you not love her, what she's done for women's football? She's absolutely world class. Many describe her as the Lionel Messi of women's football, and it'd be hard to disagree with that. But it is annoying. it is annoying that it keeps on happening to all these top players. Yeah, I mean, it's probably actually, if you think about it, I mean, Chelsea have been, I wouldn't say maybe lucky. I don't know how you could probably say it, but they haven't had too many of these serious injuries since for a few years now. When you think how many we've had down the years, or other clubs, it doesn't seem to happen too regularly with them. I know now, and as I just saw, suffered one in December as well. So yeah, so it's not nice, but it remains to be seen. One thing to be interesting: will they be forced? Will it force their hand in the transfer market now? I mean, you still got Guru there, you still got Fran, you still got Lauren James, you still got Aaron Cuthbert. So they've still got plenty of world class talent on show there. It'll be interesting to see whether it does force their hand in the transfer market going forward. But one thing it will do is definitely spices up the WSL title race for the second half of the season. So yeah, no, I wish her a speedy recovery, but let's wait and see. Let's hope she can get back playing again soon.
I mean, it's an interesting point about the transfer window, actually, because last year we lost Beth and Viv just before the transfer window, and we didn't go out and replace them, really, did we? So we brought players in, but not in their positions. It was almost like, we were prepared to wait for them to get fit. Not that you can replace players like that anyway, because there's no one around as good as them anyway that you can bring in. And it'd be the same with Sam Kerr, who's out there that you could bring in, that Chelsea could bring in, that's going to score the goals that Sam Kerr scores. Probably impossible. So, whether they will go out and buy somebody or whether they'll just say, okay, this happened, one of those things, we've got a squad and we'll do the best that we can. I mean, of course, it's another big ACL injury, isn't it? And there's been too many. And what do you think we can do more to try to alleviate the problem? We can't get rid of it. Injuries happen, we know that, but it seems to be happening too many times. Greg's made a point here, actually. He says part of the problem was Chelsea playing her when she wasn't fully fit. Was she rushed back a little bit too quickly because Australia was desperate to get her back in the summer when she maybe wasn't fit? She's been rushed back for Chelsea. Do you think that's a problem, or it's a more wider issue, isn't it, surely?
Could definitely be part of it. It's really terrible news. I couldn't believe it when I read it the first time. Especially Arsenal and Arsenal players, Arsenal fans know what an ACL injury means. I think it was a great gesture from Beth Mead and the Aussie players that they supported Sam Kerr. And I think the only good thing about all the injuries in the past years was that it really brought attention to the issue. It was everywhere in the media, so people know that it is happening and something has to be done. But at the same time, we know from the research that exists at the moment that there could be multiple reasons for it. One of them also being like strength training from a young age. So I unfortunately think that it could probably take some time until we see a decline in injuries, because we also have to start from grassroots to really develop strength in young players and start from the beginning to train them differently, because we've been, I think many coaches have been training them like men's teams. So I think we're just starting to change our perspective on that. And I think until we really grow into that new perspective, it will take some time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think you're right. Is there anything you think maybe in terms of, I don't know, equipment or something that they can develop to maybe protect the needs more in women players? Because there does seem to be issues there. Is there some sort of strapping that they could wear maybe to protect them, or would that not really make any difference, you think?
It really it began with football boots. I think they now have special boots from Nike that have like more circular studs, that the rotation is easier. That was one of the issues, I believe. And also at the same time, the ground the players are playing on is important. So if it's really good grass, not artificial grass, the injury risk is not as high. So, also the facilities of the teams are important, but at Arsenal, at Chelsea, you have the best possible facilities you can have, I think. And then there are also some things like when the players play in the winter on the hard pitches. So I think there are so many issues they come together. So I think the clubs are already doing as much as they can, like guaranteeing that there are the best possible options at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's something that they maybe got to develop a little bit more, looking into it a bit more. And we may not, like you said, we may not see really positive results on that front for a while, because a lot of the damage has probably already been done in some of these players, like I said, when they've been very young. Maybe the wrong type of training and stuff like that. That could well be what's happening. And it might take the next generation of players to come through when we'll see it really decrease. But yeah, unfortunately, it seems to be something that is not going away anytime soon, is it? Every time you think, oh, there's been a lot, there's going to be less coming up, suddenly there's another one, and you hear more and more of them, and another top player. So yeah, it is really, really sad. Terry says, even though I don't like Chelsea and Sam Kerr, he does make the games exciting when we play against them. Well, he makes the WSL more exciting anyway, doesn't he? Just being in there, and I think that, the fact that she's going to play a long time it's a blow for the WSL as much as anything else as well, isn't it? You've got to look at that. As it was last season when Viv was out and when Beth were out, two of the best players in the league. It's a shame for football in general, isn't it? Women's football in general. So yeah, we wish her all the best, and hopefully she can come back as strong as before, as stronger. And we look forward to seeing her back again. Hopefully, sometime this year. Hopefully before the end of the year, we'll see. But yeah, we know how long it takes. How long it's took Beth, how long it's taken Viv. We know. So let's just see. But yeah, it was a shame that it's happened again. But let's hope that they find a solution, because it can't carry on in the way that it has done over the last few years. It's ridiculous. But what can you do? What I wanted before we're going to look into the Watford game in a minute as well. Obviously, our first game back for a while. We just want to look back maybe on the first half of the season so far in the WSL. And for me, the one thing that stood out for me in the first half of the season has been how much more competitive it's been this season. You don't really get easy games anymore. We've seen Bristol City just come up from the Championship. They've been competitive. They gave us a really difficult game. They've given other teams a difficult game as well. And I just think the whole league now is, we recently lost to Tottenham in our last game. And the first time we ever lost to Tottenham. I think it just shows, doesn't it, how much more competitive the WSL is. The so-called smaller teams have improved. And I think the top teams have improved as well, but the smaller teams are catching up now. You can see that quite clearly. We've had so many difficult games this season, and we've got one of the strongest squads we've ever had. And we're still finding it difficult to beat some of these teams that normally, years gone by, we would have won 6-7-0, wouldn't we? We did that on a regular basis. And that's been the biggest thing for me over the first half of the season. That's the one thing that's really stood out, actually, how much more competitive the league is. And also, as well, I think that, we've talked about goalkeepers already. I actually think the standard of the goalkeeping as well, overall, yes, we see mistakes, of course we do, but I think the standard of goalkeeping across the league is as good as it's ever been, I think, now. And I think that's been a feature as well. You're not seeing so many of the mistakes that you used to get from goalkeepers down the years before. So it's been a real positive. Obviously, from an Arsenal perspective, the last game, everything was going so well. We beat Chelsea and it was looking good. And then the unbelievable result against Tottenham, which no one was expecting. But from an Arsenal perspective, it hasn't quite gone as we would hope for, really. But I think overall, it's been better for the game. The fact that we've lost to Liverpool and we've lost to Tottenham this season. Two teams we'd never have thought we'd have lost to. They had 2 games. We looked at the fixtures and thought, well, we might lose to Chelsea. Yeah, we might do. We might lose to Man United. We wouldn't expect to lose to Liverpool and Tottenham. So I think that just shows, doesn't it, where the league is. I mean, Andreas, what have you made of the season overall then? The first half, it's been great, hasn't it? Because of how much more competitive it is now.
Yeah, I think the WSL is more competitive than ever before, and the smaller teams have closed the gap. There are no more easy games, easy wins for the top teams. Look at Liverpool, Spurs, even Leicester. They have closed the gap. They are really competitive. Of course, those teams won't be competing for the Champions League spot number 3, but they are closer now. And look at Aston Villa. I remember before the season started, we were discussing which team could break into the top 4. And I said Villa is very competitive this season. They were last season, and now look how they are struggling. If you don't get going, if you lose the match, then it's very difficult to come back to the winning ways, because the next game won't be easy, and the game after this, it's everything is difficult. We struggled when we lost against Liverpool. Uh, if we don't beat Villa with these two late goals, then we would have a very tough situation. So yeah, this makes the WSL more interesting and more competitive. It's good for the league. Of course, we all want to win the title, and we want our team to win the title. But as I always said, it tastes much better if you win a trophy, a title, when you beat the teams with all their top players, and if you win in a very competitive league. Of course, it's nice to have 6-0, 8-0 wins and say, next match, okay, the 3 points are in the bag, no question. But yeah, overall, it's better like it is now. Every match is difficult, and we're looking for the next match and say, it will be difficult, will be tough. Yes, every match is tough. And that makes it more interesting. Therefore, I'm really looking forward to the second half of the season. Everything is possible. The title is open. Yeah, Champions League spots are open, and you can't say who will be relegated. It's also an open race, and that makes it very, very interesting. And that's also a reason for the attendances in the stadiums. I think Bristol has an average attendance of more than 10,000. Bristol is struggling against relegation. They have 10 or 13,000 in the stadium for their home matches. It's unbelievable and unthinkable in other leagues. So that's a great development.
It is, yeah. I mean, I remember after the Euros a couple of years ago, we were sort of wondering exactly what impact that was going to have. We knew it would have a positive impact, of course. Winning the Euros in England was amazing. And it was obvious that it would have a positive impact. But I wasn't sure whether that impact would be temporary, if you like. There'd be a boom because everyone was excited about the Euros, and then it would kind of maybe die off. Obviously, the TV deals probably helped as well because more games are now shown that people can watch. But what's happened is since the Euros, it's just going from strength to strength to strength, isn't it? Like you said, the crowds are higher, the games are so much more competitive. TV's involved now, more people are watching, and and to think this is just the start, really, isn't it? When you think of where women's football is going to be heading, where it can go over the next few years, and to see where it's, the point it's at now, where it's come from to get just here already, has been amazing when you think about where we were 3 or 4 years ago in the WSL, where the crowds were like, and all this kind of stuff, to where we are now, and how much more competitive the games are, how much more technically better the players are as well. I think you watch the games and they're so much more technical now than they used to be, and all these kind of improvements have happened so quickly, and it has been fantastic. I mean, Amar, what's been your kind of lasting impression from this season so far? Obviously, the competitiveness of it has got to be one of the biggest things, hasn't it, now? And the great football.
Yeah, I mean, the matches, there are cracking matches already, and there's been no shortage of drama in all of the games, really. Yeah, I mean, the attendances are going up higher with every trip down to the Euros or the World Cup. I mean, the standard, the refereeing still remains questionable in some parts, but yeah, it adds for more excitement. I done the broadcast deal as well, and the fact that all these club players are returning, the strength and depth of the league in general is great, and that's what's making it more watchable and more exciting to follow. And yeah, first obviously, yeah, as you say, there's definitely no gap. Okay, there may be a considerable difference in the budgets of certain clubs, for example, but it doesn't mean that the teams are all getting. I think it's probably the most competitive, as you say, that's ever been. We do see the odd one-sided scoreline, but it makes for intriguing viewing, and no teams are classed as pushovers anymore. For like you used to have maybe in the past, when you had your Yeovils and possibly like your Birmingham or, for example, whoever was considered pushovers in that regard. They're all rolling their sleeves up and showing that they can compete in this league. You get an odd one-sided result, but it's not as much as you used to. And yeah, it's what's making it exciting that it's the relegation battle is going to go down to the wire again. The same teams have won the title when they all play each other. It's going to be key to see which way that goes. But no, definitely, it's the close. Despite the relative, as I say, the difference in some clubs, what they can and can't afford, it's still making for intriguing viewing. So that's what's probably been the most exciting aspect of the first half of the season for me so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm hoping that, as more and more money comes into the women's game, which it is doing already, and it's going to even more so, that we're not going to get a situation that we've had in the Premier League for the men where the top teams just get stronger and stronger and the rest struggle to keep up, because that's not what's happened so far in the last couple of years. And I'm hoping that it doesn't go that way once more and more money comes in. Because obviously the bigger clubs generate more money, don't they? You get bigger crowds, they get better sponsorship deals, all that kind of stuff. And they end up signing better players and become better and all that. And I'm hoping that we don't see the same path the Premier League took. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Signs so far are good. But if you remember the very early days of the men's Premier League, it was the same, wasn't it? You had teams like Wimbledon and Oldham who were competing in the Premier League and doing well. You're not going to, it doesn't happen now. It'll never happen again. I know Luton are there at the minute, but generally that doesn't happen very often. And I don't want the WSL to become too predictable. It's been predictable enough up until now, really, anyway, when you look at who wins the trophies. It'd be nice if we can keep this competitiveness and make it more so that, teams like Aston Villa and, maybe not Tottenham, but certainly, Liverpool or someone that can maybe challenge for those Champions League spots and even challenge for the title. It'd be great for teams like that to do it, wouldn't it? Just to make the league even more interesting. I mean, John, what have you made of this first half of the season? Because I think this season, more than any other season before, you can see what's the progress that's happened in women's football so quickly.
Absolutely. I think there's still so much potential in women's football to grow so much more in the next years. And I think to grow it is important that you can see that the quality is changing all the time and going up. And that is definitely the case in the WSL with the attendances, with the game quality and so on. I mean, if you compare to the Bundesliga, you still have that competitiveness, but at the same time, the attendances are much lower and also growing slower. So in England, everything is happening so much faster. Of course, it's also good with the Euros and 2 years ago and last year with the World Cup. So that definitely plays into it. And also the clubs like Arsenal really working to create a good atmosphere in the stadium and bringing so many people to the stadium, which is unique until now. And at the same time, I think in the league, it really impressed me with the transfer periods in the summer, but now also in the winter. Also, what names we're talking about. For example, now a club like West Ham, who are at the bottom of the table and now making big signings like Chrissy Mewis from the US team, Katerina Gorry, who really impressed during the World Cup. So I definitely think they will bring a lot of quality to the second half of the season and also will make it more interesting on the bottom half of the table.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's been the key, hasn't it? That it is good that teams like West Ham, you say, can buy bring these great players in, because one, it strengthens the league, which is great, and it makes it even more competitive. Because West Ham, they're in a battle against relegation. They want to try and get as many points as they can. They need to get some better players in, and that's what they've done. And it's good that that's happening now in the WSL. And yeah, I think it's been. So far, it's only halfway through the season, so let's not get carried away. But I think this has been so far the best WSL season that there's been since it became the WSL, if you like. And long may it keep growing, because over the last 2 or 3 years have just been amazing, really. And I still get shocked now, and I shouldn't do. I still get shocked though when a lot of people still say, "Oh, I'm not watching women's football. It's like rubbish." And I'm thinking, have you ever actually watched it? Because if you have, you would actually see that it's actually not rubbish at all. It's the complete opposite of rubbish. But I don't know. I'm hoping that more and more people start to realise actually that if you put all prejudices aside and all that kind of stuff and, look at the game for what it is, I don't see how anybody will not be impressed by it, because it is just, for me, it's got everything that men's football's got, minus all the kind of negative stuff, the rolling around, pretending to be injured and the fake yellow cards and all that kind of
Yeah,
nonsense
yeah,
that goes on in men's football. It's got none of that yet. I'm hoping it never does, but it's got none of that, and it's almost like the perfect football. I think it's almost the perfect football because it's got everything apart from all the negative things, and that's what you want really. So yeah, let's hope it continues to grow as it is. Let's hope the attendances stay up, and yeah, you have to say Arsenal have done a fantastic job in getting people into getting the games at the Emirates and actually getting people there in the stadium. It's brilliant. We've already sold, what is it, over 30,000 tickets for the Tottenham game already.
yeah.
I mean, incredible. And the Man United game, I think that's heading up a similar way. So Arsenal do a great job. Arsenal have done a great job in helping that as well. But, the attendances wouldn't continue to grow if the product there wasn't of the quality that it needed to be. People would soon think, I'm not going to watch that again. So the fact that's not happening shows exactly what the quality has improved massively. You can see that quite clearly now, and I think it's almost now for me the best type of football that you can watch. The WSL is as good as anything else that you'll watch ever. The quality of the games, the players, the competitiveness of it. I can remember a few years ago, Chelsea would be on the telly, and you'd watch a Chelsea game and say they'd be playing someone like Reading or they'd be playing Birmingham. And Chelsea would go 1-0 up in the first 10 minutes. It's not worth watching the rest of the game because you knew what was going to happen. They'd end up winning 5-0. It'd just be boring. Whereas now, you watch them games, and even if Chelsea do go 1-0 up or in the first 5 minutes, you still watch the game because the other team can still get something out of it. And they come back into the game now, and it's become a better watch because of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was the same with Arsenal games. Let's be honest. We've watched Arsenal games before when Arsenal have won 8-0, 9-0, and in the first 5 minutes what the game's going to be like. And yes, we enjoy it because we're Arsenal fans and it's great to see you score a few goals. But it's no good for the league, is it, when you see games like that, really? Neutrals aren't going to turn on and watch the game and think, oh, what a great game. I've just seen Arsenal win 12-0. No one's going to think that apart from Arsenal fans. And it's so that the fact that this isn't happening anymore is why people are coming back again and watching the games, buying tickets, going to the stadiums and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, this has got the potential now for the second half of this season to be the greatest season ever in women's football. And let's hope that it fulfills that potential because it will be fantastic and it will be long overdue as well, without a shadow of a doubt. LG says, I had no idea you guys were live. Just joining in now. Hope everyone's doing okay. You have to just click on the notification bell, and then you'll get a notification every time we go live. Then you won't miss any of the shows, will you? Terry says, "Come on, chat. Push Andreas's top. It's free, and you can subscribe as well." Yeah, if you push Andreas's top, actually, it likes it. So if you've got a touch screen, obviously. If you haven't got a touch screen, it won't work. But you need to have a touch screen, obviously. Greg says, we saw how good our girls are. They'll push on now in the league. Well, let's hope. We've got a lot of work to do because we've made it hard for ourselves. That Tottenham result has made it really tough for ourselves, but we've definitely got the quality now. Technically, we could go on and win every game in the league. We could do. We've got the quality to do it, but football doesn't work like that now. We just say how competitive the league is. I'm sure we will drop more points. I'm sure Chelsea will drop more points. I'm sure Man City will drop points. Man United will drop points. Everybody's going to drop points. So we'll see. I mean, I hope we can win the league. We certainly got a good enough group of players to do it, but it's not going to be easy at all now. If we'd beaten Tottenham, I'd have been a lot more confident, I have to say. But, we've made it hard for ourselves. It's our own fault.
All down to the manager.
Yeah. So let's see. Anyway, Terry says there, let's hope Arsenal women keep running like a family club and don't go down the money route. Well, inevitably they will, because that's probably going to happen. But at the moment, it's the ticket prices are great. Everything about it they're doing right, and we criticise Arsenal quite a lot for some of the other stuff that goes on over the men's side of things, the way that the club run and other things like that. So it's nice that we can praise Arsenal for what they're doing with the women's team. It's been brilliant, and I agree, Terry. I hope that they don't just end up becoming greedy like what tends to happen. So, but we'll see. Greg says, I remember going to the Palace ground for a cup final, only just over 1,000. Now they fill out Wembley. Yeah, I remember that as well. There was one as well. I think was it Stokes ground? I think we played was it Stokes ground? We played a final. I think it was a few years ago, and I think it was about 4,000 or something now. But
Sheffield. I think it's Bramall Lane, wasn't it? Sheffield? Was it Bramall Lane?
Was it Bramall Lane?
I think it was when he lost to Man City on penalties.
Yeah, it might have been that one. Yeah, I know it was at a Premier League ground, and it was. I mean, there was a half decent crowd in for the time. It felt okay, but obviously now you look at it and you get like 80,000 at Wembley. We went to Nottingham Forest as well, City Ground, to see Arsenal playing a final against Chelsea.
Oh, yeah.
They only opened one stand because that was all they could sell, and that was in 2019, I think it was, or 2020. That wasn't even that long ago. And they could only sell one. They didn't even sell the whole stand out, but they only opened one stand in the ground. Now, if you had a final at Nottingham Forest ground, they wouldn't be able to sell. They'd sell out within 10 minutes, wouldn't they? I mean, it's at Wolves ground, isn't it? The Continental Cup final.
That's correct.
This year.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's sold out. I'm thinking of getting a ticket, but I don't want to jinx it. Every time I buy a ticket and Arsenal aren't in the final, we end up getting knocked out. So I don't.
That's what I wanted to do about the FA Women's Cup final. That was there. I want us to win the FA Cup again, play at Wembley. It's been 8 years now. We need to. We want that one back as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like jinxing it, so I don't want to. I won't get a ticket until I know we're in there, just because it's just if I miss out, I miss out. But I'd rather Arsenal get there than me get there. If you see what I mean. So I don't want to jinx it, so I'll wait and see. Wayne says there that Tottenham performance reminded me of the men's performances against West Ham and Liverpool. Those shots and no goals. Yeah, it was a bit like that, wasn't it? Yeah, and Fulham. Yeah, but I don't know really. We didn't play that well against Fulham, did we? I suppose. But yeah, it exactly was a bit like that, wasn't it? Let's hope that again those results don't come back to haunt us either. So what we need to do now, obviously, we're back in action. There's actually a game. I can't remember last time we played a game. Well, we can, obviously, but it was a long time ago. We've forgotten about that. But we have got a game coming up on Sunday, of course, and it is the FA Cup. And we were just talking about, we don't like to see 7-0 and 8-0 wins. But last year in the FA Cup, we played Leeds and we beat them 9-0. And this year, we are playing another Championship team. Now, obviously, there's quite a lot of links between Arsenal and Watford, isn't there, in terms of players and, where they train and where we train, all that kind of stuff. So I've always had a bit of a soft spot for Watford anyway. But it's a nice draw in a way to have. We're at home against a Championship team. We can rest some players. We can rotate the squad. And we still should be far too strong to not to win the game fairly comfortably, which is what we want to see. And see what I'm not taking it for granted. We can't afford to take it. You've got 90 minute cup shocks happen. They do. And we just said how much more competitive football is at the minute. So we can't take it for granted. But it would be one of the biggest shocks ever in football history, wouldn't it, if Arsenal were to lose at home to Watford on Sunday? We don't want to even think about the possibility of that happening. No. So, I mean, Andreas, what are you thinking ahead of this game? What do you think that the team lineup will be? Do you think there'll be quite a few changes? Obviously, they've had a long break, the players. They've been away. They've had holidays. We haven't had a game for a long while. We had a friendly the other night, which was good. What do you think that the team? Do you think he'll go quite strong with the team, or maybe give minutes to some of the fringe players that haven't been playing? Obviously, not Katerina Coole because she's gone, but the rest of them. Or do you think it will be a fairly strong team? Viv might start, for example.
Yeah, possibly. What changes, and you don't know what is the strongest lineup at the moment, because we had our last match mid of December. Now we had the Christmas break or winter break. We were in training camp in Portugal, so it's a new start for everybody, and you can't say we are rotating because you don't know what would be the strongest lineup. I think we shouldn't underestimate Watford. It's the first match after a break. Nobody knows where are we standing, in who is in which form, in who can perform well, who needs a little bit more training sessions or so. It's difficult, and for Watford, it's just their match of the season. They can't lose anything. If they lose 5-0, 6-0, everybody will say, it's normal. You can't expect to beat Arsenal. It's normal that you lose. But if they are competitive, they can keep a 0-0 for a longer period. Maybe over the first half, it would be a success for them. And then the pressure for us will grow, because it's a knockout match. It's not a chance to say, and let's take 1 point, let's take it all. No, it's either win or lose. So take it serious. Start with the best possible lineup. This would be my decision. And then if everything works as we expected, works normal, then make changes at halftime, give minutes to other players. Of course, I expect us to win, and normally we should have a decent win. But don't be too overconfident. So I say we will win 3-0. That would be great. We have 3 loanees at Watford, and I heard in the press conference that we allow them to play. Although normally they would be cup tied against us. They wouldn't be allowed. But we said yes. The 3 youngsters are allowed to play. It's good for their development. And Jonas said this time he gives away this chance to weaken the opponent, and for the long-term development of the players, and therefore for the long-term benefit for the club, for Arsenal, that they have a competitive match against a top team. It'll be interesting to see these 3 youngsters, how they do, and my prediction is 3-0 for us. I think we would be satisfied with this.
I mean, I always say the same every week, that if we win 1-0, we've won the game, and that's the most important thing, especially in the cup. If you're going to win the FA Cup, what you've got to do is win every game. And whether you win 1-0 or whether you win 11-0, ultimately it makes no difference. You're through to the next round. It's not like goal difference counts in the FA Cup. It doesn't matter how many goals you win by. You just have to win and go through. And I think I'll be obviously disappointed if we don't maybe win it comfortably. Terry said, I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal because he wants to sound like the panel. Well, yes, I think 2-1 a little bit. I'll be surprised if it's only 2. But you never know. You never know. Like the Tottenham game, we could have all them chances and not score, and then Watford get a goal from a set piece or something after, and then who knows? But yeah, I mean, we'll take a 3-0, move into the next round, and happy days. I mean, Emma, what are you expecting then from this Watford game? Obviously, we're going to be massive favourites, aren't we? And we should win quite comfortably without too many problems. But you never know. Like Andrea said, we haven't had a game for a while. No one's got any form to go on, and we don't want to look back to our last game because it was so disappointing. So the break came at a good time, didn't it, for us, really? And now we've got a chance to get our form back, hopefully get some shooting practice and get some goals, and hopefully can push us on for the rest of the season.
Sorry, was I getting quite catch? Are you asking me? Sorry.
Yeah.
It's your turn.
Yeah, no, it's a good point you make. Yeah, no, sorry, we're good to shake. Sorry, I was just cutting up a bit. I thought sort of what you said, but yeah. I mean, it's at home, and we should win. I could never underestimate the opposition. Yeah, and it'd be good to see them actually wearing the white kit to promote like the men did last week against Everton. Hopefully, it'll bring us a bit more luck this time. But no, it'll be good to see that and see what they're promoting. And it's a great cause, and hopefully, we'll score a few goals and get through comfortably. You can't ever underestimate the opposition. And we've seen in the past, whilst cup shocks may not happen in women's, they have happened a few times in the men's in the past. So that'll be good. But I think the big break came at a good time. They'll be refreshed, ready to go, and hopefully whatever team Jonas puts out will do the job, and hopefully we can finally win the trophy, which has eluded us for 8 years. We're the record holders as well, so I think they'll be even more determined to go far. And I believe it's on the FA Player on Sunday, so it'll be good. Let's have a few people tune in and hopefully we'll get the win. And it also happens to be on my birthday as well, so it'll be a good birthday present for me as well. So let's see.
Oh, of course, yeah. And my birthday on Sunday, so that's good, isn't it? They're playing on your birthday, so that's sort of a little bit extra special, isn't it? There's only been one possible. My birthday's in the middle of the summer, so I'll never get to see Arsenal. But England have played a few games at the World Cups and stuff, but I never ever get to see Arsenal play on my birthday. But the one year I could have done was in the COVID year. And we actually had a game that was booked in, scheduled on for my birthday, and then TV got involved and moved it to the day after. I can't believe it. It's the only time it's ever going to happen that we could play a league game on my birthday, and the Sky TV moved it to the day after. It was Southampton it won't play. And I'll never forget that. I'm thinking, cheers, Sky, for that. The only chance I'm ever going to get. But anyway, I like having a birthday in the summer because it's normally warm and it's nice. There you go. We've got. Oh, hang on, my mouse has gone funny. Rendition says there, white kit is blasphemous. Spurs wear white. Well, yeah, they do. I mean, Mar's got a good point. It's a great cause. I don't think football clubs and sport in general should get too involved in political messages because I don't think that's what sport should be for. Sport is entertainment, and sport is a release for people away from all of that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying they shouldn't necessarily back worthy causes, and this is a worthy cause, obviously, but I don't know. I'm getting a little bit. I think it's too much now. Too many political statements are going on in sport and in football, and I don't think it's really helping the causes much. Really, I'm not sure if it does, but fair play. I don't like the white kit personally. One, because it is not Arsenal. Arsenal don't have white. We don't. That's not our colours. It is the colours of Tottenham.
And red and white. Though,
it was like the game last week. I watched the Liverpool game, and Arsenal played in a white kit, and I couldn't help thinking it was England. And we played just like England as well, and lost. So it kind of reminded me too much of England, really. Not the England women, obviously, the England men, because
or Leeds.
The women are fine. They don't often let us down like that, do they? But yeah, I mean, yes, it's a great cause and all that kind of stuff, and fair play to the club for supporting it. But too many political statements for me in football and sport. So maybe we should take a little backseat from that. Let sport be entertainment. Let us not have to think about other troubles in the world for 90 minutes or 2 hours when the game's on. It's an escape for us, a lot of us, isn't it? So let us escape from the problems rather than putting them in front of us all the time. But anyway, let's hope that the kit doesn't affect the result as it has done for the men's team when they've won it previously. But anyway, we'll see. Greg says there he'll put out the best he can and change after we're 5-0 up. Well, let's see. If we go 5-0 up, then maybe he will, or maybe he'll change it anyway. But I think we'll go fairly strong to start with. I agree. And yeah, hopefully we'll see good rotation of the team during the game because we'll be able to. Did you give a score prediction, Amar, or not?
Oh no, sorry. I would have probably said 5-0. 5-0.
5-0. Oh, there you go. Okay, 5-0. That is great, isn't it? Terry says, "Come on, Amar. You're too nice. Happy birthday, mate. 3 cheers. Indeed, happy birthday to Amar. I would like to sing that again. There we go. Wayne says we should think more Real Madrid than Spurs.
Yeah,
well, yeah.
Leeds
There's a load of other clubs playing white. It's not just Spurs.
Leeds.
Other teams are available, but
yeah.
I just think for us as Arsenal fans, we do associate white with Spurs, don't we? Because it's been our rivals all those years, and that's what they wear. So I suppose it's difficult to move anywhere else. But yeah, you're right. Obviously, Real Madrid and lots of other teams probably play white as well. I can't think of too many others actually. Not as a home kit. A few have had a away kit as white, haven't they? But anyway. We won't worry too much about that. We'll try and win the game regardless of the kit we're playing, and hopefully the next round we can wear a normal kit again. Hopefully, I mean, Adriana, what do you expect then from this game? Obviously, Arsenal should win, shouldn't they? I think on Sunday, should they? Well, let's hope so.
I mean, yes, they should, of course. But at the same time, I think it's important to not think of it as an easy-to-win game. I think especially the mentality in the beginning is really important, that they have a good start to the game. And I think for that reason, I think there will be a good starting lineup. Also, when you think of the next weeks, that they already get emotion, like the players that will play in the next games in the WSL and in the Conti Cup maybe. So I think they will start, and then maybe in the second half when they are leading, there will be a few changes. Maybe Emily Fox will get her first few minutes. Yes, and but I think my prediction is 5-1. Maybe a lonely Arsenal player will score a goal.
Nice. 5-1.
5-1. Well, yeah, we'll take 5-1
in there or something.
Well, I'll take any victory. Honestly, I know this is a game we should win pretty comfortably. We've got much more quality in our squad than Watford have. And we should win the game fairly easily. But yeah, I'll take any win will do. I personally think I know last year we beat Leeds 9-0. I don't think it's going to be a game like that. Obviously, Leeds were from the division below. They were from the third tier, wasn't they? Not the second tier. So. But I would expect us to win. I'm going to predict. We haven't kept many clean sheets this season. We do seem to let in some daft goals, don't we? So we will probably let in a daft goal, and it will probably be one of the Arsenal players that scores it, probably, because that's the way football works. I'm going to go. I'll go 6-1 because I think we've got goals in this team, haven't we? With Leslie, with Steen. Viv's going to be wanting to get on the score sheet. Beth, we've got goals in this team. Caitlin Ford, so I think we'll score 6, and they'll maybe get a scrappy one from somewhere. And yeah, we'll go through quite comfortably. LG says that the white kit gives me bad memories of the Birmingham loss. I know we won a yellow away kit, but it was the same weekend when the men lost to Forest in the. Yeah, I mean, the white kit just gives me nightmares about all those FA Cup defeats that we've had in it over the years. So yeah, it doesn't fill me with a lot of optimism, if I'm honest. But you know, this is different. This is the women. They've never worn it before. The women don't have history with this white kit. The men do, and we paid the price last weekend. The women don't have history with the white kit. Let's go out. Let's beat Watford. Let's score bundles and bundles of goals. It'll be fantastic, and we can forget about the white kit next year. We'll have confidence from seeing us winning it. You know, the big win would be nice, wouldn't it? Greg says 8-0 if shooting boots on could be 10. Well, potentially you're right. It could be. You know, if we go all out and we've got so much attacking talent, we could score any number of goals that we wanted to. But that's not how football works. And Watford is, as Andreas said, it's Watford's cup final, isn't it? They've got nothing to lose from this game, so they're going to give absolutely everything, aren't they? They are going to work hard. I mean, even Leeds last year, if you remember, Leeds worked so hard in that game. And it wasn't until the last 15, 20 minutes they ran out of legs and we got 4 or 5 goals at the end, didn't we? You know, it was reasonably competitive until then. Watford will give everything in this game. It certainly won't be easy. As we've said, we've got these low-knee players there that are going to be playing against us with a little bit of a point to prove, to show the manager what they can do in a competitive game. So I think it's going to be a different game to last year. But I think in the end, we've got the fitness on them. We've got the quality, obviously, and we should end up winning fairly comfortably in the end. But I think we're going to have to work hard and we're going to have to be patient as well a little bit and be on our best. And if we are, I'm sure that we'll win. Terry there's donated £10 to Amar's birthday. Look at that. There we go. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Terry. Amar can
thank you so much, mate. Cheers.
Fantastic. So yeah, brilliant stuff. So that has been the Arsenal Women's Show, the first one of 2024, and it's been a good one. Obviously, a lot to get through there. The transfer window is always interesting, isn't it? Always interesting stuff comes up on that. And we do have a match to look forward to as well, which makes a change, doesn't it? It seems a long time since we've had to look forward to a game. Just quickly, before we kind of leave, I just want to sort of look through some of the other FA Cup ties. Obviously, you expecting any sort of shocks anywhere? I mean, obviously, Chelsea should go through against West Ham, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so. But I mean, we heard about the transfers that West Ham made, so maybe that will be a little bit closer than we expect. But yeah, I think Chelsea should go through. But actually, I haven't really looked at many of the other matches that are coming up. But
it's quite an interesting one. It's Durham at home to Man City. That's quite interesting because Man City being away.
That's on the BBC.
Yeah, Durham going pretty well in the Championship, so that could be a difficult game to call. Obviously, Man City should win in the end. Obviously, Man United at home to Newcastle. Newcastle investing a lot in their women's team, but they're still in level 3, so you expect Man U at home should go through there. I can't see too many shocks, if I'm honest. Hopefully, Tottenham might lose. They're at home to Sheffield United. So hopefully they'll lose. But yeah, other than that, I think all the big WSL. Bristol City Liverpool's quite an interesting game actually. Bristol City at home to Liverpool. That could be a good game actually. Could go either way, that one, couldn't it? There's a few old Championship games as well. Crystal Palace Blackburn could be quite good, I suppose. Sunderland Southampton as well. 2 good Championship sides playing each other. That could be quite interesting as well. But yeah, I would imagine Arsenal should go through, Chelsea should go through, Man United should go through, and yeah, although it's a tough game for Man City, I think they'll go through. So yeah, and we'll see what the next round brings. But yeah, it's going to be good. LG says there, my preferred starting 11: Sabrina, Fox, Lockhart, Kabina, Catley, Kyra Cooney-Cross, Leah Walty, Marna, Gio, Blackstenius, and Lacasse. I don't think Gio can play, can she? She now. I don't think she can.
I thought she'd been sent on loan. Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure if she has. I'm not sure if she can play for us, actually. Because she wasn't registered before, was she? I'm not sure if she's been registered now or not. Probably not. I don't know. Oh, yeah, because obviously Noelle Maritz would have gone, but obviously Emily Fox has come in, so there won't be space for her in the squad, will there? So I don't think Gio can play. But, I mean, that's not a bad side there, actually, is it? I quite like that. I'm not sure Emily Fox will start, if I'm honest, but we'll see.
I would like to see
Stina start. I want to see Stina start. I'd like to see Viv start, actually, instead of Frida Marnham, because I want Viv to get a few goals. I think she needs some goals to get some confidence back. So
that's nice.
Start Viv, let her get a couple of goals, take her off in the second half, just to protect her. That would be ideal for me. But anyway, we'll see. Hannah says red and white is good for Arsenal. White is not. Well, no, yeah, so of course, white isn't Arsenal. We won't worry too much about that. Rendition says she was in the training photos. Gio was she? Yeah, but she might be training because they're going to keep her fit. But I don't think she's able to play because she's not. She wasn't registered in the 25-player squad, and the only way she would have got in is if we got rid of players and put her in. But the only one we've got rid of so far, mind you, because Katerina Coole's gone out on loan. Does that mean Gio can now step into the squad?
That's a good point. I don't know.
She might be able to, mightn't she, actually? So maybe she can play then. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. I don't think she'll start the game anyway because she's not played all season. But
No.
she might be on the bench if she's able to be. I'm not sure. Terry says there, do we really care who we beat in the final? Well, no, obviously we don't care who we beat in the final. We've got to get there first.
Get there first.
Not get too carried away quite yet. Let's beat Watford first. Let's see what the draw brings us, and then obviously we'll take it from there. LG says, Viv is not a number 10. We should stop pretending she is. Well, I think she can play. It's her preferred position, isn't it? So, you know, she likes to play there. I think she can do a great job there. So I don't mind her playing there at all. I think sometimes her dropping a bit deeper, she can get more involved. She gets the ball more, and she can have more impact on the game in the number 10. Whereas when she's playing through the middle as a striker, she can't have as much. Yes, she's going to score more goals in that as a number 9. Of course she will. But I think she adds more to the game as a number 10 personally. But I don't really care where she plays. Let's just play her on Saturday and let's get some goals and get back to the Viv that we know and haven't maybe seen yet. Terry says Arsenal v Chelsea final would be a good send-off. Sort of sends off Salty off in style. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that would be a final everyone would enjoy, but we don't have a great record against Chelsea.
No, we don't.
So
5 out of the last 7 seasons have knocked us out. I think isn't it something like that?
Yeah. So we don't have a great record against them in this competition, do we, regionally?
Oh, Conti Cup again.
Well, yeah, the Conti Cup. We'll settle for a Conti Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, Amar said it before. You know, Arsenal haven't won the FA Cup for a long time. Actually, we're overdue one. We are long overdue an FA Cup, aren't we? So let's hope this is the year. 2024 is the year that we win the FA Cup, we win the WSL, we win the Conti Cup. Would be great, wouldn't it? But let's take one game at a time. We've seen what can happen. You know, we lost that game against Tottenham, so we know what can happen. Well, let's just beat Watford first on Sunday, and then look at the draw for the next round. See who we get. We'll probably get Chelsea again like last year, so it'd be irrelevant anyway. We'll probably get them early.
Oh, no. Let's not think. Yeah, that draw was not done properly. So let's.
I do hope not. I don't want to get Chelsea. If we are going to play Chelsea, I hope it's not until the final.
Why can't West Ham knock them out?
Yeah, let's hope West Ham knock them out. But they won't knock them out. Chelsea are at home. Chelsea haven't lost a game at home for about 4 years, haven't they, or something? Since they lost the game at home.
Brighton, I think it was last team to win at Kings Meadow was Brighton or something like that.
Brighton, it was, yeah. So, you know, they're probably not going to lose, are they? Let's be honest. LG says she's our best number 9, not number 10. Frida and Palova are ahead of her in that position, more natural midfielders. Viv is too lazy to play midfield. Yeah, but number 10 is not a midfield position, is it? Number 10 is a forward position. It's kind of a link between the midfield and the forward, isn't it? So it's not a midfield position as such in terms of, you know, Vicky Palova is a midfield player, absolutely. Frida Marnham, see, I don't think Frida Marnham is better in that number 10 position than Viv is. Absolutely no chance. Because when Frida gets into those good positions, she makes the wrong decision too many times. Viv doesn't. Viv gets in those positions and she makes the right ball. She'll either shoot or she'll put the right pass in. So I don't think you can say Frida's better than Viv in number 10. No, absolutely no chance. I like Viv in number 10 because she's a little bit deeper. She can see what's ahead of her and she can impact the play more. But, you know, I just want to see her playing, actually. I don't care where she plays. I just want to see her playing. Greg says there, Chelsea obviously gets a final with 12 on the pitch. Yeah, and it seems like it's fated for Chelsea to get to the FA Cup final because that'll be Emma's last game, wouldn't it? Or the Champions League final, I suppose. They're probably destined to get to that, aren't they? So her last game will be a big final, whether it's the FA Cup or Champions League. That is probably what's going to happen. I mean, we are the only English team to win the Champions League, and I would like that to continue. But I suppose when you look at it from a romantic point of view, it would actually be nice for Emma Hayes to end her Chelsea time winning the Champions League, wouldn't it? It would be kind of poetic in a way, as much as it would hurt us. maybe it would be a nice way for her to finish, really, because it's not going to affect us. We're not in the Champions League, so I don't really care as much. If we were in it, I'd want us to win it, and I'll be disappointed that we didn't. But we're not in it, so if that happens, it happens, and it'll be nice for Emma, of course. Wayne says Viv weight of pass for a number 10 is practically perfect every time. I like her. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's got that ability, hasn't she, in that position to have more impact on the game ahead of her. I like her there. I'd like to see her play there more, but we'll see. Rendition says, let's hope Barca slap Chelsea up. Well, yeah, they probably will.
But it didn't last.
OG says, no way. No. I don't think it's met of a sympathy for. I just think that, whatever we think of Emma, and, we've certainly given her plenty of banter on this show loads of times, but she has been a fantastic manager in the WSL. The success that she's had. And she's come from Arsenal. She's everything that she's learned at Arsenal under Vic Akers. She wouldn't be anywhere near as successful as she's been without the influence of Arsenal and Vic Akers. So, it's almost like whatever success Emma has, it's almost a success for Arsenal in a way, because that's where it's come from. That's where it's originated from. So we need to say, look, you've won the league all these, like Sam Kerr said, 4 in a row, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but you only won it 4 in a row because you've got a coach that learned everything that she knows from the greatest manager in women's football ever. So that's where it's come from. So there you go. But we'll see. Terry says, Vig pass to Stina wasn't a bad pass when playing number 10. Yeah, that was the assist of the season, wasn't it? The season before last. Greg says Viv, Russo, and me together could be devastating. Absolutely. And Stina as well. You need to throw Stina as well. But there you go. Wayne says Arsenal. Absolutely. You're 100%. Of course they did. Absolutely 100%. I mean, obviously, Adriana, Emma Hayes, last season, she's going to go out in some big way, isn't she? She's not just going to go quietly, is she, Emma Hayes? She's going to do something special between now and the end of the season, surely.
No, I mean, she has definitely left her mark on the club and also on women's football, on the WSL in England in general. So I definitely think it will be the last game will be very big. I hope for her that it will be a cup game, a cup final. So yeah, I think she was a really important person for women's football and still will be with the US women's national team.
Trailblazer.
Yeah, and absolutely, yeah, and I know we've had some fun with Emma Hayes over the years, but ultimately you've got to stand back and say that what she's done for women's football has been incredible. It really has, and she does deserve to go out in some sort of style. There's no question. We don't want her to, obviously, because we want to win everything. So that's why I said the Champions League, because it's the only thing we can't win. So we'll win those 3, and maybe we'll let her win the Champions League. Just in style. If we win the other 3, would we be that bothered? Ultimately, we still won it first, and that's the most important thing. But yeah, they probably won't. Rendition says special 0 trophy season. Well, yeah, maybe that's what it'll be. Maybe that's what it'll be. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, she's been incredible for women's football in this country. Yeah. So you have to give her respect, really. And I think she seems to have mellowed out this year a little bit as well, doesn't she? Some of her interviews that she's had, I've heard this season, she's not been anywhere near as bitter towards Arsenal as she has in previous years. So. Maybe she's mellowing out as she's coming down to leaving. Maybe, I don't know, but anyway, we'll obviously I'm sure we'll speak more about Emma Hayes between now and the end of the season as things hot up in the title race and for all the other trophies as well, because Chelsea will be there or thereabouts, I'm sure. Wayne says, I want the treble and Emma to get slapped against Barcelona or Leon. Well, yeah, I suppose that could be a good season in that way, I suppose. But I just think from the perspective of what she's achieved and what she's brought to women's football in this country, you can't really wish too many bad things on her between now and the end of the season. As long as we win our 3 trophies, I'm happy with that. Absolutely. Terry says, do you think Salty will give Jonas a smile and say, well done, Arsenal, when she wins nothing this season? Well, she might do. I'm sure. I mean, we're playing at the end of the season, don't we? The away game's playing at the end of the season, so it'll be interesting. That's going to be a big game, and if we win that game, maybe deny them the title, I'm sure she'll congratulate Jonas and congratulate Arsenal. I'm sure she will, even though she'll be really, really upset and disappointed. But there you go. LG says there, do you think Sam Kerr's AC is advantageous to Arsenal? Because I think so. Yeah, I mean, we did talk about that a bit earlier. Obviously, we said how devastated we are for Sam as a person, as a player. But yes, of course, it's not helping Chelsea's cause for the season, is it? Without their top goal scorer, their main player. But I don't really think it's necessary. I don't look on other teams as benefiting us or not. We're the writers of our own destiny. We can win our games. We win all our games, and no one can stop us. And that's up to us to do, regardless of other teams. Yes, Chelsea are going to probably be a little bit weaker without Sam Kerr in the team, as we were last season when we had all our players injured. And there's a possibility, of course there is. But I don't want to look at it and say, well, I don't want to come back. We win the league this year, and everyone says, oh, you only won the league because Sam Kerr was injured. I don't want that people to say that. I don't want that to even be a thing. If we win the league this year, we've won the league because we were the best team. We deserve to win the league. In the same way that last year, yes, you could say we may have won the Champions League if we didn't have our injuries. We might have done, but that's not the reason we didn't. We didn't win it, and that's the way it goes. So I wouldn't want people to just think it because Sam Kerr wasn't playing that we managed to beat Chelsea to the league, beat in a cup, whatever it might be. No, I don't want that to even be mentioned. It will be, I'm sure, but that won't be the reason. The reason is because we've won all our games and we've won enough games to win the league, regardless.
Right.
And it's in our hands, and it's up to us to do that. So yeah, is it an advantage to Arsenal? Of course, it's not a disadvantage to Arsenal, is it? They've lost one of their best players, and it makes them weaker as a team. But the most important thing is Sam herself, and that she gets back fit. Nathan's doing well, there, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So that is the Arsenal Women's Show then for the first one of 2024. Let's hope it's going to be a great year. I'm sure it will. We're looking forward to it, aren't we? And of course, as we know, as Amar's already reminded us, it is his birthday on Sunday. I don't know how old he is, but it doesn't matter how old he is anyway. Last year, if you remember, Matt was on the show and we did serenade Amar with a happy birthday. So I think we should do it again, shouldn't we? We should sing happy birthday to Amar.
Oh, go on then. My quiz will be back next week, by the way.
Yeah, we'll do the quiz next week. So if we're all ready then, shall we sing happy birthday to Amar for Sunday? Let's go then. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amar. Happy birthday to you. There we go. Birthday Sunday. So make sure you join us on Sunday. How old?
32.
32. Ah, there we go. He doesn't look a day over 31, does he? He's doing well. So LG says Kerr has an annoying habit of scoring crucial goals for Chelsea. Yes, he does. Normally against the one against Willie, in about the 95th minute. I remember that. Yeah, when I was ready to celebrate a draw. Yeah, I remember that game. That cost us the league, didn't it? Yeah, I'll never forget that. But that's what the top players do, don't they? And when it matters, they get your goals, and there you go. Greg says we'll win the league because we're the best. Exactly. We will. No, what it means if we win the league, we've won it because we're the best team, not because Chelsea had an injury or because of this, that, and the other. We've won the league because we've been the best team, and that's absolutely right. That's what I believe. Although no doubt Chelsea fans will say it's because of Sam Kerr, and we'll have to put up with that for a while, but there you go. And Terry's happy birthday indeed. So I'll be back Sunday, of course, for the game. It's 1 o'clock kickoff, isn't it? So I'll be here at 1:45 to build up to that one. It is on the FA Player. The game, so it's available to watch on there as well. Stay with us as well because it's much more fun on here. So that's 1:45 on Sunday for the game against Watford. And of course, next Friday we will of course be back to look back on the Watford game. Hopefully, a good Arsenal victory. We'll talk about the draw for the next round. We'll know hopefully that we're in the next round, and we can look forward to the draw for that. And we'll talk about that next week as well. And of course, the return of the WSL as well. When we play in Everton, isn't it? That's our first game.
That's right, yes. That's right.
We'll be looking forward to that one as well. And of course, Katerina Coole won't be able to play, will she? Because she's on loan and you're not allowed to in the league. But yeah, so that'll be next Friday. We'll look forward to that game as well. So and maybe some more transfers. Who knows? The transfer window's still open. There might be some more players in and out. So we'll have to maybe talk about that as well. So we'll see. LG says it's a 3 p.m. kickoff in Botswana. Is it? Okay, well 3 p.m. That's not a bad time, is it? So you'll be able to join us, right? I'm sure. Greg says happy birthday.
Thanks,
well, we're all catching up with you, my friend. We're all catching up with you. Seri says, great show again tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Much appreciated. Enjoy your birthday, Emma. Come on, you.
Thank you,
girls. Indeed. Anyway, so it's been a good show tonight. Andreas, good to see you again. And hope you're feeling a bit better after your Christmas kind of illness that you had. Are you glad to be back with us?
Yeah, glad to be back. And I think we all know what we were missing all these weeks when Friday was empty without our show. Now we are back, and WSL will be back soon. And next weekend, I'll be back at Meadow Park for the Everton match. So looking forward to all the matches that are coming, and I think we'll have a great second half of the season with big matches at the Emirates. I read the 45,000 tickets sold for the United match and 32,000 for the Spurs match. Yeah, big weeks coming ahead, and looking forward to everything. Yeah, great to be back in the show.
It is great to see you again as well, which is always great. Emma as well. Obviously, a few weeks away, but it's been good, hasn't it, to be back?
Yeah, it's been good to have a break. It's gone quicker than as we expected. Yeah, but we're good to see them back. Hopefully, they'll play well, get a few goals. I know people complain about the white kit, but let's just hope they can score a few and have a good second half of the season. Hopefully, win a trophy to back up last season's Conti Cup. So no, it's good to be back. What we enjoyed doing the best, and hopefully, it'll give us many more reasons to celebrate and finish the season strongly. So I'm looking forward to it. Bring it on.
Indeed, we are. LG says the AFCON starts this weekend. It does, yeah. The little tournament in Africa, as
well, it's not little.
The little tournament in Africa, exactly. But no, it's not. It's obviously it's a massive deal there, isn't it? I think Klopp's just a little bit annoyed because he loses his best player, doesn't he, for a couple of few weeks. So he obviously doesn't like it, does he? I mean, we're doing all right because we've only lost El Neni, so we don't really care too much because we can do without El Neni for a few weeks, I'm sure. Although we have lost Tomiyasu as well to the Asia Cup as well. So it's 100%, Andreas. What does your top say? It's driving me nuts. What is on your top actually, Andreas? Because what is that sign on there? Is it what does it?
Yeah, what does it stand for?
It's a German nutrition company for runners and for athletes, and it's best of athletes by Dr. Feil. Dr. Feil is the founder of this nutrition company. It's called Ultra Sports. So it has nothing to do with football. But it's warm, and in these cold days, I need a warm top.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's good.
I thought they were your new sponsor.
I know.
Maybe they should be. If they're watching, you'd have to get them to sponsor you because I think that's what we need here. Columba is with us. Well, how are you doing? Good to see you. I hope you are doing well. And Adriana as well. Good to have you back on. Absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming on and giving up your time to spend with us tonight. Have you enjoyed the show?
Thank you very much for having me. It was great to have another deep dive into the WSL. Can't wait to get started again.
Come back again soon.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome back on the show anytime. I know Andreas can sort that out, and it's always good to see you, and great to get your input as well on everything to do with the WSL. LG says I wasn't in the show for a long time. As you guys, but certainly had a good time. Thank you guys. Thank you very much for joining us again, as always. We appreciate everybody who watches. Greg says, put your heating on. Well, yeah, that's the other option, I suppose, isn't it, Andreas? Put your heating on. Times are hard, Greg. What are you talking about? Times are hard, You can't put your heating on as well. It costs a lot of money, doesn't it, to put your heating on? But yeah, that is an option, of course. But other nice warm jumpers are available as well. And if anyone wants to sponsor us, wear your jumpers on the show, you see, and you can get your logo talked about on the show as we have with Andreas. So I think they should sponsor you definitely now because no one had heard of them in England until just a minute ago, and now everyone's heard of them. Everyone's going to go out and buy them jumpers. Everyone's going to go out and look at what they do. So I think they definitely deserve to be sponsored by them now.
Yeah,
so that's what should happen. Terry says, always a pleasure, Adriana. Indeed, it is great to have you back on. I say anytime, you're welcome anytime to talk about this. Great to have you. So that's the Arsenal Women's Show. Then, as we always say, once the show's finished, it means the weekend is here and we can enjoy our weekend. And it's going to be a good weekend because the men's team can't ruin it again. So that's one bonus. And the women's team are playing, which is another bonus. So it's going to be a good weekend, isn't it? And it's not snowing yet here, although I'm sure it will.
It doesn't snow.
Emily says, you lot signing a 40-year-old goalkeeper. Yeah, well, she's 37 and we haven't signed her yet, but we've already spoke about that and we need a goalkeeper as a backup. So it's a good signing. We've already said it's a good signing, so you're too late. I don't care that she's 37 years old. You know, Emma's 32. We're not kicking him off the show, are we? So age is
Oi. Let's not go there.
it's just a number. Age is just a number. Don't worry about it.
Let's not go there. Come on.
Rendition says there, share price is up 50%. Exactly, yeah, they are up 50%. There you go, you see. We've made their money as well. So I think that's the least
He's famous, man. He's famous.
It's the least they can do is sponsor us now after all of that. So yeah, brilliant stuff. So thank you obviously to you guys for watching. Some great comments as always. Good to have you on board with us. Thank you very much, of course, to Andreas as always, to Emma, and especially to Adriana, of course, for coming on again. Brilliant to have you with us. I'll be back Sunday for the game at 1:45. So please join me for that if you can. And I say we'll be back next Friday as well. Of course, the Premier League's back next week as well, so there's going to be loads of other stuff coming up as well. Looking forward to that. So yeah, we've had a few weeks where we haven't had much going on, but it's going to be busy again soon. LG says why are you having a grandma in goal? Well, it's fine. She hasn't got to play anyway. She's just there to make the numbers up. Don't worry about it. It'll be good. And Rendition says, thank you everyone for the show. No, thank you guys for watching as well. Your comments always appreciated. So I'll see you Sunday. Thank you to all you guys for watching. The weekend is here. Enjoy whatever it is you're up to. Don't get too cold. You can always buy a jumper like Andreas to keep you warm. And that'll be good because they are very nice. So that'll be that. So yeah, we'll see you Sunday, guys. Take it easy. Thanks for watching. Come on, you Gunners. Let's do it.
Okay, guys. All the best.
Later, guys.